Welcome, everyone, to the Daily Juice Podcast on the Betting Pros Network. I'm your host, Sean Stacking the Money Green. Give me a follow on Twitter at Sean T. Green. And as always, Daily Juice being brought to you by BetMGM. Use our promo code JUICE, get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. Okay, NFL Sunday, recapping it. Oh, man, my Eagles look like complete garbage. Gardner Minshew look like trash. Luckily, we're getting Jalen Hurts back next week. Got a game against the Giants, win and lock up the number one seed. All right, I'll take it. 2-2 on my NFL sides. Didn't hit the one-unit round robin DGen anytime touchdown parlay, but did kind of save my Sunday. And hopefully those of you who tailed in the bettingpros.com/chat, a.k.a. the Discord in Daily Juice, gave out my first touchdown bets, small sprinkle on a couple of those, and did hit Isaiah Likely 30-1 in the Ravens game. So that felt pretty good. All right, so recap the picks. Then we'll talk a little Monday Night Football. Got a side, couple totals, and the Rose Bowl. And I think I'm going to get tickets to the Rose Bowl pretty close to me. So if you're planning on going to the Rose Bowl, hit me up in the Discord. Maybe we can meet up, shotgun a beer for old time's sake. No, I don't think I could shotgun. Actually, I still could shotgun. I don't think I will. I think I'm going with my wife. But there's a Daily Juice listener who's going to the Rose Bowl. I'll bring you a hat and we can shotgun a beer together. Or just sip a beer, depending on how old you are. All right, here we go. Vikings plus 3.5. They got destroyed. Everyone kept joking about how they're still really good in one-score games. Wasn't even close. Great win by the Packers. Did not see that coming. That dominating performance. I thought this would be a game. Vikings had some opportunities, just completely blew it. Jets. So apparently it wasn't Zach Wilson. Their offense just looks bad. I'm still not sold on the Seahawks. Nice win for them, but I'm still not really sold on them. So kind of keeping an eye on them. Possible fraud. We'll see if they get in. Broncos plus 12.5. That felt pretty good the entire game. They were always just kind of hanging around. Russell Wilson did figure out a way to blow it, but 12.5 felt pretty good the entire game. And then Steelers plus 2.5. Didn't need the 2.5. Kenny Pickett, nice drive to end the game. They got boned on some of the couple of bad calls there earlier in the game, so that felt good to get that win. You know what else feels good? Winning an autographed Earl Campbell jersey. Just go to youtube.com/bettingpros, hit subscribe, comment on this very video, automatically entered to win the Earl Campbell jersey. All right, let's get to it. For the side for Monday Night Football, Bills at Bengals. I'm taking the Bengals plus 1.5 for 2 units over on BetMGM. What really scares me about taking the Bengals is the La'el Collins injury. The guy replacing him isn't good. However, for me, Joe Burrow, a.k.a. Joe Burr, in December, that guy is he's just a machine. I'm not fading him in December. I wouldn't recommend anyone else doing that. December and January, those are the Joe Burrow months. Bills struggle with top-end receivers, too. I mean, you saw what the Miami Dolphins did to that team. And I think the Bengals are going to be able to pass on this Bills team. Bills good rush defense. Bengals pretty good defense overall. T. Higgins is healthy. I think that's kind of a game changer for the Bengals. They also got Trey Hendrickson back. And Josh Allen is still creating inopportune turnovers. You get away with it when you play the Chicago Bears. I don't think they're going to get away with it when they play the Bengals. And this is a back-to-back road spot for the Bills as well. And Joe Burrow, 31-11 ATS. When not favored by more than a touchdown. Love that trend. Give me the Bengals plus 1.5. Like I said, heading to the Rose Bowl. Went to Penn State for a couple of years. You know I got to be on the Nittany Lions here. Penn State plus 1.5 versus Utah. 2 units over on BetMGM. To me, it almost felt like the Utah Utes season kind of peaked when winning the Pac-12 Conference Championship. And not a bad way to peak, right? Winning the Pac-12 Conference Championship. Obviously, this is a system play. If I'm going to the game and I went to the college, I got to take Penn State. I do really like the fact that the Utah cornerback, I think this could be key. I was reading some articles on it. Clark Phillips, the third, is out for this game. I think that could be big. I think that's going to be big for Sean Clifford. Sean Clifford's actually done decent against the pressure and doesn't turn it over a ton. Now, if Utah figures out how to blitz him and turn him over, they're going to be in trouble. But I think he's going to play a relatively clean game. I like them in this spot, and I like their red zone offense against Utah's red zone defense, which is pretty porous. And Penn State's red zone offense, top 10 in the league. So, yeah, give me Penn State plus 1.5 for 2 units. All right, got a couple 1-unit prop plays as well for the Monday night game. And again, like I said, I'll toss in some first touchdown stuff as well. Bettingpros.com/chat. Hop in there, hang out, say what's up to me. I'm always down. Like, what else would I say? Just some other dude on the internet wants to talk about gambling? Yeah, I'm in. Joe Burrow, longest completion over 37.5 over on DK. Again, Joe Burrow in December, like the matchups against this secondary. And Joe Burrow in particular, he's gone over this 3 out of the last 4 games. That feels like he's heating up, kind of getting things going with the offense. And T. Higgins being healthy, I think really, it just opens things up, right? Because they can't move all the coverage over to Ja'Marr Chase. T. Higgins has just been a handful. That gets me to the next prop. T. Higgins over 69.5 receiving yards. In his last 5 games, he's had 3 games where he got 114 yards or more. Like he really has a massive ceiling. So if you want to play the ladder here and keep going on some of these alts, this is also a prop over on DK. I don't hate that at all, but I'm going to keep it simple. I'm just going to take over 69.5 receiving yards. The Dolphins receivers, and it was mostly Waddle and Tyreek Hill, put up 204 against the Bills in Buffalo, even with some weather there. By all accounts, it doesn't look from the latest reports I saw, it wasn't crazy weather. Things could change. Obviously, you always got to keep an eye on the wind because that is really what impacts passing yardage, passing totals, stuff like that. Shouldn't be too crazy. So T. Higgins, I think, is going to have himself a game. And in the Bills defense, you look at the numbers, it's pretty good, but there's some opportunities. Like I said, that Miami receiving core, I think, really kind of exposed the Bills, or at least showed what you can do with the catch and run, with the big play. So, yeah, like the Bengals here, like over 37.5 for longest pass for Joe Burrow, like T. Higgins over 69.5 receiving yards. It's just some 1-unit props here. Closing it out with a D-Gen special for the folks in the audience. What if I told you there was a guy just to score 1 touchdown? 27-1? Are you kidding me? A guy who's already seen a touchdown, or already had a touchdown this season? A guy who Bills fans are clamoring to get involved in the offense more? That's right. Anytime touchdown, 27-1, 1 unit over on FanDuel. Reggie Gilliam. That's right. He's tight end, fullback, H-back. His position's listed a couple different ways, depending on where you see it. But he had 23% snap share last week against the Bears. And he actually has his 1 touchdown he had this season was a first touchdown score. So stay tuned. But I'm definitely going to be taking him on the first touchdown bets in the Discord as well. And really, the guy, he's already had a touchdown so far. He's a guy they use near the goal line in the red zone. Is it crazy to think that, hey, an extra day to prepare, maybe you put in a couple wrinkles. You're going up against the Bengals. This is when you get cute. This is when you work in a Reggie Gilliam, little boot action with Josh Allen. Reggie Gilliam's snaking to the corner of the end zone wide open. That's what I'm predicting. That's what I'm seeing. And it's just a fun as a gambler, and again, that's what I am. I host a sports gambling show. This is what I love. This is what gets me excited. And it's an incredibly fun sweat because regardless of the game, even if the game becomes a blowout, one way or the other, you can still talk yourself into, hey, Reggie Gilliam touchdown, hanging around and watching the game. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be close. I still like the Bengals to get the win, like I said. But Reggie Gilliam, anytime touchdown, 27-1. Gotta roll the dice there. Also, like T. Higgins, over 69.5 receiving yards. Over on DK, Joe Burrow. Longest completion, over 37.5, over on DK. Penn State, plus 1.5 for 2 units, over on BetMGM. And again, if you're going to the game, hit me up in Discord. And the Bengals, plus 1.5, just in case they lose 24-23 for 1.5, plus 1.5 for 2 units. Hey guys, as always, BetMGM.com, promo code JUICE. Follow us on TikTok at Betting Pros. Follow me on Twitter at Sean T. Green. Check out my other podcast, the Sports Gambling Podcast. And you know what to do. Subscribe, rate, and review. And as always, don't forget to let it right.